Hello, welcome. I'm going to give it a few minutes and then we can get started for today. Hello, welcome Carlos. Welcome Justin. Welcome. Hopefully we can get some newer people in here today. I do apologize the background noise. I actually started a little bit more on this drawing, so I have the flooring finished. I actually added some rocks over here, and I kind of worked on the background of the outside window. Obviously it doesn't look too realistic yet. Usually I start off drawing the sketch of the tree, and then when I get to the coloring process, then I add in those leaves. So I know it looks so weird right now. Are you feeling better? Absolutely. Definitely way better than I have been the past few days. Yes, he's also feeling better as well. I believe he was only sick for maybe one day, but I was definitely sick for a few days. Hello, welcome. I'm going to give it just a few more minutes and then we can get started. Definitely very excited about this drawing now. I absolutely love how the flooring turned out, even though I've never actually drawn floors before, so I was actually really surprised that it turned out this good. Of course, don't worry about it, don't worry. I hope you have an amazing night or day. It's the government. That is wild. Yeah, I'm probably just going to keep it at maybe like 2 trees. I might maybe add a third one in there, but just so it looks, not too overcrowded or anything. So I added 2 trees. I don't know if I'm going to keep that one there or not. I also am going to be adding a moon and some clouds and stuff in the sky, as well as snow, because I feel like that's definitely very, very appropriate for this drawing. Speaking of sick, I have a sore throat, bad cough. It's so bad. Oh no. That's horrible. They wanted COVID 2.0. Hello, welcome. I'm actually going to maybe post a short tonight or not, but I'm not exactly sure if I'm going to do that or not because there's not really much going on with this yet, or at least with the background. But I still have to figure out about the vines, how to draw those, and also add some more stuff maybe in the top area. I feel like it's definitely too open, in my opinion. Just have to realize how to do perspective between your drawing and the background itself, especially for digital art. Absolutely, I agree with that. I feel like with maybe some areas of the floor, I could have had it more, I don't know, slanted a little bit, but it's not too bad for my first floor drawing at least. So I am still pretty proud of it, but hopefully in the future I can definitely, upgrade with that a little bit. It was definitely really hard for me at first, though. I did not know how to do the whole perspective thing. It was really, really tough on me, but I figured it out and it looks amazing. Hello, welcome Rex, welcome. Also, I know I told you guys on the 22nd I would start the Halloween polls. I've been thinking maybe I should start it a little bit early and then maybe stop them on the 22nd. That way I have enough time to actually sketch out a little bit of the first drawing, but I don't know if I'm going to do that yet, so I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I start it kind of early and end it on the 22nd, or should I start it on the 22nd? I'm lazy, I just draw a line. That is very, very valid. Alright, so I do want to add some more stuff up here, like I said. I also feel like maybe I should add like lines to the pillars or something just so it looks more realistic, but I don't know how that's gonna look. So we can try that actually. I think I did this at the beginning of the drawing and I just didn't like it, but I'm just gonna see what that looks like again. Also, if anyone is new here, my name is Mochi and I love to draw illustrations. This is a piece I'm actually working on right now. This is supposed to be Snow White as the evil queen, so if you want to stay and chat it up for a little bit, feel free to do so. And we are also on the road to 2K, so feel free to subscribe and like the live stream. I also have a community post where you guys can talk in there and also promote your channel if you'd like to. To me, when drawing a background, I just draw one big line and then establish the rest later on. It helps me adapt to whatever I'm drawing or change how big, how low, how high, etc. I agree with that. Sadly, with me, for some reason I have to draw the character first, then the background, because I feel like it helps me get a vibe of what type of background I'm gonna do, but who knows. I am going to try that line idea though, so let me just grab my tool. I don't know if it was this one or not, or... So I'm just going to draw a straight line down. Just so I can see what this looks like. If not, then I probably won't do this whole line thing with the pillars. I know with some pillars it doesn't look exactly right. If it was more like a cylinder pillar, then it probably would look pretty good, but I'm just going to try it and see what it looks like. I don't know, you guys. It doesn't look too bad, I would say. It doesn't look too bad, but it's also just not the style that I really like in general. I could also try maybe one line instead of two. I feel like it just gives it like too much or something. I don't know. But I probably will leave the pillars alone, but I do want to add something up here. I feel like the bricks or the stones or whatever you want to call it is just definitely not enough for me. I need more design up there, so maybe I'll add... I don't know what I'm going to add yet, but I'll figure it out. Although, if I think about it, if I do add more plants up there and whatnot, it definitely will cover up a good amount of it, so we'll see what that looks like. I think it might look better when shaded. Absolutely. But sometimes when things don't exactly look right to me, I kind of just leave it off, you know, leave it be like that. But I feel like the main attention right now is mainly the flooring because there's so much detail with it. So I do want to add more detail to the entire drawing in general, but I don't know. We'll see what that looks like. And I'm actually going to make another poll here for those Halloween polls, just so I can get your guys' opinions on it. So let me just make that pole here real quick. Alright. So this is if I should start those Halloween polls. If I do, I will be doing it tonight. But I'm only going to do the first set for the polls. I'm not going to do the second week or the third week or so on. It's just going to be the first week of the Halloween drawing. So I do have actually a couple of those set up already for the first poll, so let me know if you guys would like to see that. And that poll will be up all the way until the 22nd. If not, then I will start those on the 22nd exactly, and I'd pretty much have, I think, like a week, yeah, about a week to do sketches and whatnot. So just let me know what you guys think. I'll leave that up for a few minutes. Sometimes it's good to starting early gives more preparation time. That's funny because I was actually about to say something along those lines. I was going to say that sometimes it's good to start stuff a little bit earlier. That way I have a little bit of a head start to it. But sadly, with the second poll and so on, I'm not going to have much time to do head starts like that. Because it does take me a little time to do drawings and pieces like this. Still trying to figure out what I'm gonna do here. I might also change up the railing, by the way. I don't know if I really necessarily like it. I mean, I kind of do, but I feel like it also needs more to it. I have no idea, guys. So far I have 5 votes for those Halloween polls. And a lot of you guys are also really gonna love the characters I've actually put on the first poll, or first set of polls. You guys are gonna really actually struggle to choose one of the characters, because I have so many good ones on the first set. Just trying to figure out certain sections, certain areas where I can add more detail. I don't think I'm really gonna add too much to this background though. Like I said, I feel like 2 trees is fine, and the sky, of course, and, you know, snow. But I don't think it really needs too much to it. I also forgot I have some references here for plants as well, so I'm going to look at those actually. I'm also going to be adding a lot of moss in certain places as well, like maybe the flooring and the pillars and stuff like that. I do like to add moss to a lot of my drawings, especially when I'm adding like stones or rocks and just stuff like that. Is it just me, or does the face look like one of those faces you'd find in Just to Impress? It kind of does look like it, doesn't it? Hello, welcome. If you are new here, my name is Mochi and I love to draw illustrations. Feel free to subscribe, like the live stream. That's if you're interested in art. We now have 6 votes for those Halloween polls. Absolutely, I do agree with that, Hunter. You drew those backgrounds. I did draw this one, but I did not draw these ones, no. These are actually references I took off of Pinterest, so I do not own these. These are just ideas of what I want to add to my background. Yet again, if you're new here, feel free to check out my channel. I do have a lot of finished drawings on there, and I pretty much like to fill the entire space. I don't like to just draw, a character. I like to do a whole illustration. It's definitely so much fun like that. I believe I actually have a drawing in here as a reference. Yeah, I do. This was actually my last piece I just did. So I used this as a reference a little bit with the trees. But I think this one was my last piece actually. So sometimes I like to use my art as references, sometimes I don't, but I mainly just use Pinterest. Hello, welcome. Right now I'm trying out a texture technique just to see if I could try to do like a bush type of look in the corner. How long this took you so far? I believe this is taking me like a month so far, mainly because there was so much detail I added to the dress. And I've never actually designed a dress like this before, so this was actually really fun to play around with. The dress is gorgeous. Thank you so much. Thank you. And a welcome. I don't use Pinterest anymore. I like drawing, building, architecture, and half of those on Pinterest are AI generated. That's definitely something that I don't like about a lot of platforms, is that there's a lot of AI all over the place, and it's definitely really hard to find a very natural piece that an actual artist actually drew. So that's definitely something that is a huge problem for a lot of platforms. Although I don't agree with it, sometimes I do find inspiration in some of it, but I don't support AI. I don't think it's a good thing. I feel like a lot of artists are losing their jobs as being an artist in general just because of AI, and it's definitely a pretty big problem. Yeah, that's actually kind of how I tell that it's AI, but sometimes, especially these days, it's really, really hard to tell, especially now because it's advanced so much, and it's really just a huge problem. I hope, honestly, that they fix it in the future because, I mean, they probably won't because, that's how the world is, but it's definitely a huge problem, and I feel like it's going to take over a lot of people's jobs and hobbies, and that's just not a good, fun thing at all in general. There's some fun factors about it, but a lot of it is just. It does take a lot of practice, actually. I believe I started dictional art in 2023, and I also still have a lot of those videos posted. But I sucked at art so bad. I knew how to draw a little bit on paper, but when I switched over to dictional art, I had to pretty much relearn a lot of things. So I used to be really, really bad. Yet again, I'm just messing around with textures, trying to see what I could add. I'm kind of liking this so far. It definitely does kind of look like a vine. But I am just messing around. Definitely don't like that line. Absolutely, I agree with that, Hunter. That's why I actually stick with my graphite pencil, even if it's just coloring, because I do like that texture. And I mean, although you can't really like lean it a certain way to like make it, apply pressure to make it like darker or lighter, at least I still have that tool. So it somewhat makes it still realistic in a way, but it's definitely not, like how paper art is. I have 9 votes for those Halloween polls, so it definitely looks like we're going to start those Halloween polls tonight. So just look out for that poll. I'll probably start it as soon as I'm done with my live stream here. Sometimes the fun thing about art is when you're drawing certain things like this, you don't really have to worry about doing a perfect straight line. You kind of just mess around with it and have fun. That's something that's really cool about art is even if, it's something like this, I don't really have to worry about it being so perfect because art is something that's very unique and is one's own style. I think the vines look pretty decent so far. I feel like it is missing a little something to it. I know I'm being annoying, but this is really great. Please stick with the art. Absolutely. I actually, after I'm done with high school, I was thinking about going into graphic design. So that's also another form of art, although it's not as intense as this. I feel like it's something that I should go into as an artist. Perfectly drawing lines are kind of annoying to me when drawing. I like to be a bit more rough so I can then smooth it out later, but when you do it so early, you have to change it a lot more, especially when you have to draw the lines again, and it's so stupid. Absolutely. I guess that's something that kind of bugs me too as well. Alright, I gotta go. That's perfectly fine. I hope to see you in my next live stream, and you have a wonderful rest of your night or day. I don't know if I want to add like leaves onto this or I want to do kind of like that vine look that I did on the top. I've been kind of going back and forth with this pillar looking line thingy. I don't know whether to put leaves on it or maybe do something like this. I also feel like there might be maybe a little bit too much lines on this side as well, so I'm actually going to just erase a couple of them. mainly because it's definitely just too much. I feel like the other side looks so much better than this side for some reason. So I'm just going to erase a few of these lines here. Maybe very few leaves spread out. That is a very good idea. I can definitely do something like that. Or maybe I could do... Yeah, maybe I'll do this. I'll see how that looks like. I hope that everybody had an amazing day today. And usually what I like to do here is actually I like to add a line and just a few lines on the leaf so it actually looks like a leaf. Usually when it's a bigger leaf, I like to add like a line in the middle and then a second line next to it so it looks more realistic. But since this is smaller, I kind of just keep it to one line. It doesn't look too bad, but I also feel like it doesn't really fit with it for some reason. But these ones down here definitely fit with the drawing, I feel like. And those are also leaves as well. So I don't know if maybe I should try a different leaf shape. Or maybe I could try doing like that squiggle type shape and then maybe add the leaves, but we'll see what I could do with that. If not, then maybe I'll just leave it like that for now. I could also maybe try adding like a branch to it or something, adding like maybe smaller leaves. This kind of looks cool. I kind of like this actually. But maybe I'll add like some bigger leaves maybe in between or something like that. Maybe add one more here. Okay, that kind of looks cool somewhat. Maybe add some of those bigger leaves like in the in-between parts. See what that looks like. Okay, that kind of looks pretty. I don't know if it's like too much or not with the drawing itself, or I don't know, guys. What do you guys think? Should I add those bigger leaves in between, or should I leave it off kind of like this? Kind of simple. Moss. I absolutely love adding moss. I pretty much add that to most of my drawings actually, which is hilarious. Hanging moss from the top would be cool. Absolutely. I am actually going to add moss up here as well. Hello, welcome, welcome. I personally prefer it with the bigger leaves as well. Alright, we can try that again. Probably the one leaf shape to add, believably. Hello, hello. I also feel like maybe I should continue this string up to like maybe here or something. Maybe add some more of these. Kind of make it like a squiggly line, just like the other ones up here. Hello, welcome. Hi, hi. Hello. If any of you guys are new here, my name is Mochi and I love to do illustrations. This is a piece I'm working on now. This is supposed to be Evil Snow White. Feel free to subscribe and like the live stream. You are more than welcomed into my community. Although I feel like some of this is kind of a little bit too much for the piece, I also kind of feel like it's kind of fitting as well. So I don't know, maybe I'll just keep it like that. This one I might just make it like a regular vine, nothing with like branches on it or anything, but it also kind of looks weird there too. So I don't know, maybe I'll keep it like that. And we are also on the road to 2K, so we're definitely getting closer and closer to it each day. Hello, welcome. Sadly, I do not remember you. There's so much people that I do talk to here on my platform, but I do apologize for that. It's nice to have you back here again, actually. I'm just adding a few branches here on the vines up here, just so it doesn't look too weird having these ones down here. I also might change it up as well, so I don't know if I'm going to keep it like that yet, but we'll see what I do with that. I also will be live again tomorrow around the same time, 10 p.m. Central Time. I feel like that kind of looks cool, kind of like the top area is kind of like smaller branches and kind of more spread out, and then the lower area is kind of like bigger branches and more closer together. So I mean, it kind of looks cool, but yet again, I don't know if I'm going to keep it like that or not. Just like the other side, I'm going to do the same thing on this side. So I'm just going to make those little branches. Maybe make this one a little bit lower actually. I saw a false tree before. It was a post with leafy vines on the top. That sounds like a very interesting tree. I hope you guys aren't too mad at me for the characters that I actually chose for the first poll, because yet again, it's going to be super hard for some of you to actually pick a character for the Halloween drawings. So I do apologize for that. I actually picked so many good characters. Hello, welcome back, welcome back. All of your characters are so beautiful and unique. I'm happy with all of them. Thank you so much. Thank you. I do have a lot of inspiration actually. A lot of people actually know what this is. The movie franchise, mainly Monster High. And Ever After High is definitely one of my two inspirations. I grew up on them. And the designs are a huge inspiration to me, especially for like outfits and stuff. So growing up with that definitely helped me bring my art style to life, absolutely. Sometimes I just imagine certain things with whatever type of drawing I'm considering of making, and I just brainstorm, just trying to imagine what the piece is going to look like. I know a lot of artists would kind of make their characters, if it actually is based off an actual character, pretty much the same, looking like the same and everything, but me personally, I like to make it way more unique and just add a little bit of my touch to it. If I did draw regular Snow White, of course I wouldn't do like her regular outfit. I would actually make it so much more cooler than her regular outfit in general. That's also why I incorporated a lot of her natural design to it and some of those colors in her actual outfit. And I also mixed that in with the Evil Queen as well. So I'm done with that side now. I feel like it's looking decent so far. I probably will add a lot more stuff on the top. It does need more to it, absolutely. Just trying out some more plant shapes in the area. I don't want to add too much so it doesn't look too crowded. Into music creation more recently. Just made my first song actually. That's amazing. Why did you become an artist? It was kind of something that was drawn to me as a little kid. So just like any kid, I just, started off drawing with crayons on, notebook paper, stuff like that. And as I got older, I felt like it was just something that was really fun to me, and being able to express my creativity with it and make it something my own was definitely something that made me really, really happy. So as I grew older, I kept going with it, and I mean, there's a few times where I felt like giving up, just like anybody else. I felt like maybe it wasn't something for me, but after those little breaks, I got back to it, and I ended up realizing this is something that I probably will never give up on doing. It's something that feels really special to me, and I hope that it also feels really special to you guys as well, because I love sharing my creativity with you all. I also love to inspire my younger artists here on my page and beginner artists as well. If art is something that maybe you're thinking about getting into, or something that you stopped doing because you felt like you weren't good at it, don't stop. Just keep going with it, and trust me, just trust the process. You will get to the point you want to get to. This has taken me years to actually get to where I'm at, and even though all those times I felt like giving up, it's definitely something that I probably will keep to my entire life. Why is that? A lot of people would say for, content just because they're bored, but a lot of people do it for other reasons as well. I was going to try some hanging down by vines as well, but I don't think it's really gonna look too well. I mean, it kind of looks, I don't know, kind of weird. So I'm just gonna keep it like that for now. Maybe add some more vines coming up here. I mean, that kind of looks cool, I guess. Yet again, I might change up a lot of things as well, but usually things don't actually start looking good until you actually start coloring. So, I mean, even though in my eyes it might look, not the way I want it to, it might also turn out the way I want it to at the end, so who knows. Hello, welcome. If you're new here, my name is Mochi and I love to draw illustrations. Feel free to subscribe and like the live stream. I think I will probably add a little bit more stuff to it, but I don't want to do too much, like I said, make it feel too crowded. Maybe I'll add something more to the flooring part as well. But yet again, like I said, I don't want it to feel too crowded. So just keep messing around with it. There it is, beautiful, and I can't wait to see it all put together. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. I kind of like that vine effect, kind of like on the floor part. I don't know if I'm exactly going to keep that or not, but it kind of looks fitting to it. Also going to add those little leaves. I added a few mainly to kind of blend it out, make it look like it's kind of fading into the vines without the leaves as well. So I think that kind of looks cool. Sometimes when I'm doing backgrounds like this and it feels like overcrowded and whatnot, sometimes I forget that that's kind of the whole point of why I do this. I like to put so much stuff into my backgrounds and make it feel like it's just, you know, fitting to the drawing. My cousin, I need to do YouTube, so I did, and I posted 2 shorts, and yeah, I stopped for a long time, and then I got to 11 or 12 subs. I was so happy, and now here we are, 86 subs more shorts, and that's all. That's why I became a YouTuber. Yeah, that rush of when you get, you know, followers, when you get likes and stuff, it's definitely a very happy feeling to see that people are actually tuning into you. I feel like maybe I should add maybe a plant or something, like a plant pot, but I also don't want to add too much like I said. So maybe I'll just keep it like this. I'm also thinking about maybe I could probably add maybe some glass shards or something on the floor. Kind of make it look like the evil queens or evil Snow White's mirror kind of like broke into pieces onto the floor. There's a piece of hair. I don't know if I'm going to keep that there or not, but that's just something for now. I feel like it's kind of a good idea, but I don't know. I think this is what I'm gonna leave it off for tonight. I don't know if I'm gonna keep those glass shards there or not, but I definitely like the drawing so far. We probably will be starting on the coloring process pretty soon here actually. So I know it doesn't look like much so far, especially the background, but just trust me on this, it is going to be so much better than the sketch itself. So I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream, and I will be live again around 10 p.m. Central Time tomorrow. And since I also had 12 votes on my Halloween polls, 92% of you guys said yes, so I will be making those Halloween polls after I leave here. So right after I post those polls, feel free to go vote on what character you guys want to see. I do love you all so very much. And I will see you guys tomorrow.